McGee, I've hardly seen anything of you at all since Steamer Wallace asked you to be the best man at his wedding. Where have you been all afternoon?
Upstairs talking to Steamer. That's an important part of being the best man. Chewing the fat with the groom so he won't get too nervous beforehand.
I suppose it is.
I suppose so, too. Which is only natural, considering the fact that it was my idea. But nervous grooms are dangerous, especially when they get to be Steamer's age. Why, if he fainted during the ceremony, he'd probably break a hip on the way down.
McGee, you talk about Steamer Wallace as if he were our oldest living war veteran.
Oh, I know he's not our oldest living war veteran, but I think there's a good chance he might be our oldest living 4F. Why, his arches fell about the same time the main sank.
Is that what you were talking about upstairs to keep his mind off the wedding?
No, we were mostly talking about Viola Whiffner, the old fossil he's going to marry. I was cheering him up by telling him how skinny little wretch like that couldn't possibly cost too much to feed.
Heavenly days. What did he say when you told him that?
He said she was petite. I pointed out how petite is nothing more nor less than the French word for scrawny.
Why, McGee, that was a terrible thing to say.
Oh, well, I didn't run the subject into the ground or anything like that. We talked business mostly. You know, about how a lot of women marry old men hoping to collect their insurance. Things like that.
I hope he didn't take that topic personally.
Oh, no. In fact, he was chatting about where he and Viola might go on their honeymoon. I told him Viola'd probably look better in Mammoth Cave than any place else he could take her.
What?
He was kind of leaning toward Niagara Falls. He finally agreed that broad daylight is no place to be seen with a Halloween job like Viola.
Why, McGee, I think it's terrible for you to have talked to him that way.
Well, I don't know why. He always talks straight from the shoulder whenever your name comes up in the conversation.
McGee?
Oh, not meaning to infer that you resemble a sickly orangutan the way Viola does, of course. Actually, we didn't discuss you much anyhow. Mostly, we talked about the general trend toward husbands not being allowed to smoke in the house anymore. I think Steamer had some interesting views on that, but I didn't find out what they were.
Why not?
He was crying too hard to talk by then. You know, it's the funny thing about that, Molly. You'd expect a fella to be happy on the day before his wedding.
You would.
Fibber McGee and Molly.